alone, please? I don't know what's the problem.
You?
Hey, sweetheart, do you want to come to the car for 1 wee second? I'm supposed to be in school. Don't tell your mommy. She's always been here. She'll help us through this.
Stacey, good morning.
Hi. Well, it's good evening where I am, but yes, good morning.
Don't tell me you're in Ireland.
I sure am.
That is wonderful. I visited Ireland about 5 years ago, but I never got to the north. We went to County of Cork and Dublin, but I'm so eager to go back to see the northern Ireland. I'm just so excited. What a wonderful country and wonderful people. It was the best experience.
Oh, great. I mean, I love all of Ireland, so,
Absolutely.
I'm glad you've been at all.
Well, thank you for joining me today to talk about your new thriller, Here Before. An interest in reincarnation for your first feature film, creating a supernatural setting. Is that something that's always interests you?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I think, as a kid, I was really into the otherworldly and paranormal. And like most people, I was always a cinema nerd. So I think that my interest in sort of psychology and philosophy met with some of those things in this film. And yeah, it was and obviously just the thrill of setting it here as well, because there isn't that many genre films that I've seen yet that have come out of the North.
And you didn't intend to direct Here Before, did you, at first? You just wrote the screenplay. Tell me about that, making that decision. That's a big leap.
Yeah, so I mean, like I say, I've always loved cinema, but I didn't know I was going to set out and be, well, I'm going to be a director, and I was a writer for years for theatre and then screenwriting, and eventually I thought I really wanted to scratch the itch, so I made a short film, and I didn't put a lot of pressure on it. I just really wanted to explore it. And off the back of that, things moved really quickly. And I'd written the screenplay for Here Before, and we'd been looking at different directors. And then suddenly me and my agent and my producers were like, oh, I think I'm meant to direct it. And very, very fortuitously for me, things came together. And, it was just, no one knows your story like you do.
And Andrea, who plays Laura, a mother who will believe anything to get a young daughter back, dealing with death and grief. She's resilient. Was there any inspiration for that character in your real life?
Absolutely. I mean, I can't really overstate the impact of growing up in the 90s in working class Belfast at the end of the Troubles. I just felt like I was surrounded by really strong, stoic women. And I didn't feel like I often saw those kind of characters portrayed on screen. So when it came to telling this story and setting it where I did, creating the character of Laura, I'm no greater artist than Andrea to breathe life into that role.
Yeah, the houses you use in this movie are also characters themselves. Was there any particular neighborhood, I mean, being in your home country, or influence on those locations?
Absolutely. I mean, we didn't, it was a beautiful stroke of luck and poetry that found that location. But, I knew I wanted it to feel like where I grew up, which was rural urban. So right on the edge of the city, but also at the foot of those hills. Belfast is one of those cities where you're surrounded by, the Black Hill, Cave Hill, Bregandit Hills. So, nature is always sort of eaten at the edges of the urban. And the film itself, spends a lot of time in those in-between places. And then this idea of the two houses, I grew up in a terrace house, so you're always sort of up close, cheek by jowl with other families and in the rhythms of that sort of life. So to find the location as we did, it just did so much in terms of the visual language of the film.
And talk about your young actresses in the film, especially the one who plays Megan. I understand this was their first films.
Yeah, like Neve had done, I think, nothing before this, and she was just a real find, and very natural. Both the kids were just incredibly open to the experience and very present. So Neve didn't really learn lines. We would run beats before shooting, and I just think that it gave her this incredible quality. And then, alongside that, she just had this kind of gorgeous stillness that not a lot of young people have in front of the camera. And yeah, she's just, you know, both the young actors that we work with were gorgeous.
So all of your hard work, you had your premiere at South by Southwest last year, but COVID got in the way. I mean, and the Galloway Film Festival. But tell me about the experience of seeing it for the first time. Where did you see your film with an audience? Because that's the goal of every director, to see where everything works and the emotion. When did that happen?
I thought it was never going to happen. And then finally at my hometown Belfast Film Festival. And that was a really incredible one because, you know, it was opened with Branagh's film Belfast, which, you know, we for a place where we don't have that many cinematic representations, to have Branagh's version go out there and be international, and then our film closed the festival, and the atmosphere was incredible. And yeah, just, you know, quite a lot of my family could make it, and it was just electric getting to see it. And especially, I think the sound is such an important character in the film, and obviously it's very visual and cinematic, you know, it's light on dialogue and very much about how we feel. So to get to experience that in an auditorium on the big screen was just gorgeous.
You know, Stacey, for your first feature film, congratulations. I mean, you have a great eye and a promising career. So thank you so much for joining me today, and congratulations, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you so much. Real pleasure.